Hold on. Breathe, Justin, breathe. Crack a smile. And good evening to Instagram as well. Okay, all right, I hope you're all good. All right, later than the published time, I've decided to bring the stream forward to 6 o'clock. He says at 6:23, but I think I've cracked it. I've been immersed, ensconced with, hopefully, he says, looking frantically at this. I mean, obviously, it's just a dodgy, cheap Amazon backdrop, as anyone can see. But I'm just trying to improve the audio here, and I'm trying to, I'm just trying to get better. Full stop, really. Anyway, it's been lots of tweaking for the last couple of hours, so. Right, I'm Justin House. This is TrueHouse live stream, and it's episode 437 today. Date being the, what are we? We are Wednesday, the 10th of November. This 2021 is hurtling towards its year end, and not a moment too soon, which is just a ridiculous thing to say when you think about it, because the words arbitrary sort of spring, or the word arbitrary springs to mind when you think, well, hang on a minute, why do people, all of us to varying degrees, don't we? We all say, oh, that was a terrible year, or 2020 was a tough year, or 2021 was a tough year, and I can't wait till this year's over. And we're simple creatures, aren't we? In many respects, we're quite ridiculous, because you're talking, if you want to get down to brass tacks, we're, again, stating the obvious, you're looking at seconds and minutes, aren't you? So, okay, so what, at the stroke of midnight, the culmination or the termination of this year, we're all going to go, oh yeah, that was ooh, that's over, isn't it? And we're gonna have a better 2022. BBB, build back better. Which leads me to one of my points tonight, really. I've called tonight Script Flippers, and in many ways I'm flipping the script on myself, because as some of you may know or may not know, and I don't presume for a minute that everyone does know this, but I've decided to, executive decision, Justin's consulted with himself, speaking about myself in the third person there, but I've brought it forward till 6 o'clock, and believe me, from this point forward, it will be 6 o'clock promptly. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, this stream's called TrueHouse for a reason, because I owe it to myself, and I owe it to you guys to not tell fibs. What I mean by fibbing, I mean, if your name's Dr. Fauci, then you do noble lies for the greater good, and of course one of the most public displays of lying, and that's why a constant theme in this stream is me, frankly, what's the best word here? Just I'm trying to think of a good word, really. It'll come to me, but I suppose it's a bit of therapy, where I'm trying to reason with this stuff. I think I don't know this, but I think this. I can't be different from any other flesh and blood person that looks at what's going on, and with a degree of I don't know, at the very least, doubt. And I'm not going to go into the specifics of talking about COVID and all this, but I don't know. I think there you go. Here's a word. It's just popped into my head. Cathartic, or cathartically. It's like I don't know. I guess it's my own sort of cathartic self-help, is just trying to understand what's going on. But the script's been flipped again. I've brought these streams forward. I'm just going to see how I perform, rather than nodding off on the screen. I never watch these back, and on the few occasions where I've watched these back, As of late, I've noticed a drop in my energy levels, and towards the sort of later part of the evening, coming on at what time do I come on? I've been coming on at was it 9? Yeah, it was 9, wasn't it? Yeah. So I was coming on at 9 o'clock at night and sort of nodding off, and it's not a good look. It's not a desirable look for a person like me who's trying to grow some sort of conversation. Even using language like our channel or brand, and while it's a YouTube channel, and I think probably the prudent move is to get off Instagram and to focus on Twitch and YouTube only. The long form conversation that we're having, I'm watching now on my iPad just off camera here. I'm watching a guy called Stephen Bonnell, who goes under the name of Destiny. He's a prolific gamer, but he does a lot of political debates, a lot of conversations on the stream. I've spoken about him quite a bit. I like the guy's mind. So I just think what we're seeing is script flipping. It's every day now. Literally every day. I've often mentioned this, if you watch an item on the news, even using that language, the news, if you're engaged in a conversation with someone online or in real life, and you share with them something you've seen on the news, that is immediately up for testing that conversation. It's immediately up for debate, because there seems to be, and this is why I made the reference to script flipping, at a societal, or a cultural level, there's clearly a split, isn't there? There's clearly a fracture, and I know people, all of us, refer to two groups. We if you're in the UK here, are you a Labour person or a Conservative person? In America, that Labour is called Democrat, and Conservative is called Republican, and the colour switch. Of course, our blue is Tory Conservative, and that's their Democrat/Labour. And our red, which is Labour, is their Tory Conservative Republic. So I prefer the American system because I think red's Republic is easy to remember. Blue for Dems, but also with the other way around. The blue bloods here are the Tories, the Conservatives. Anyway, the point being, it's just a flip of colours. But it's the social distinction, it's the social hierarchy, and I don't know. It's. I wonder, right? When, I don't know, any of you got memories of school? Just let me share this, just humour me. When, I don't know how good you were at school, or if you paid much attention. If you were like me, I was a little scallywag. I didn't really, I used to muck about a lot, and I used to be rebellious just to be, kind of cool. I used to get myself in trouble, which is acute attention seeking. And I remember being taught history, and the sort of quite a dare I say, a cookie cutter approach to history, quite formulaic, insofar as you were taught about the war and World War II, and just historical landmarks. So this was the birth of Jesus Christ. So here's the thing. Let me share this while it's on my mind. Again, I'm speaking as a 49-year-old, and the reason I often on this stream make a reference to my age, because I'm feeling it, is that I'll be half a century old in January, in Capricorn, of course. So I'll be hitting 50 in January, and so that puts me firmly in the bracket of, if we're going to talk about compartmentalization or intersectionality, which don't get me started on that. being a bigoted white cis. But I'm a Gen Xer, of course I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm a middle-aged Gen Xer. So I have memories, very vivid, visceral memories of being taught divinity. And divinity, the other names for divinity were RS or RE, which was religious education or religious studies. Now, the fact that it was called divinity is, and we had a horrible teacher actually called Mr. Tate, who was a son of a bitch. I mean, he's a literal sociopath. He used to, we had a lot of physical punishment when I was at school, a lot of canings and physical rapping of the knuckles with the big wooden ruler and physical canings on the arse with a big, strong bamboo cane that teachers would practice their golf swings on, I kid you not, and hurling of the blackboard rubber at the very least. So the old wooden handled sort of brick-sized blackboard rubber, it's essentially a block of wood with a duster on it, just that would be thrown at you, and if that got you in the face, it's no different. I'll tell you what, I'll put it in perspective, and anyone of my age should remember this. A proper blackboard, just as an aside, just as a little anecdote, a proper, I'm looking at my Beats pill actually, which if I show it on camera, I'll unplug it. So I best I don't do that. But if you can think of a Beats pill, that would be a chalkboard, eraser, and of course it'd be like throwing like a mobile phone at the very least in terms of its density. So it's certainly enough to bust your nose, isn't it? I mean, that's so calls of you boy, for not paying attention, for not being attentive enough, and the subsequent lobbing of the blackboard rubber would certainly pull us up sharp. So a divinity teacher was doing that, and again, the name is indicative of what the sort of terminology might have been in those days. That nowadays it would be called religious studies or religious education, and of course, being called divinity, it suggests the teaching of the divine. So much has changed at a societal level, and I think one of the most I almost feel like routine rinse and repeat. One of the most frequently discussed, in terms of me pouring it out. Yes, for cathartic reasons. On this here stream is this script flipping, and again, my I'm literally doing it to camera to see if I can and continue to do so. And while I don't profess to be excellent at this or pro or particularly adept, I feel each night I do this, although I've done this now over 400 times. Tonight's episode 437. I still feel a long way off getting it great, getting it like really, oh yeah, that's perfect, what was that? There's so much of this stream that I think is shit and flawed and appalled and disgusted and angry at my own performance, and but that's why I can see myself now in a couple of smartphone cameras, and I don't know, I just we are living around a part nihilistic, hubristic, narcissistic, sycophantic, juxtaposed, paradoxical, perverse, inverse, upside down, Stranger Things, it's so much of what is air quotes reality is up for debate. I really believe that. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I don't know what constitutes in your head IRL in real life. I appreciate that so much of the information out there however you get your diet of information, right? Whether you watch the TV, just mainstream, legacy, old school, tried and tested, terrestrial, television, the BBC, or whether you're more like me and just basically swipe your way through and scroll your way through, and whether you're looking on smartphones, which I have a great penchant for smartphones, or you're using tablet or a computer, that you're literally using the internet to get your news. Whether you're playing catch up on one of the mainstream TV channels in the US or UK, depending on which, as Rogan would say, which patch of dirt are you born on. Just one of the things that's even talking now, like because all I'm doing every night, stating the obvious, and I'm being pretty rhetorical here, is I'm essentially a talking head. I'm monologuing. I feel part like a complete dick. I feel partly like metaphorically I've got a gun to my head thinking, come on, Justin, you can do this. Do I feel somewhat inhibited? Yes. Do I feel because you number one, you are your own harshest critic, and I think if somebody is not their own harshest critic, if you're not, I don't mean slagging yourself off for the sake of it, but I do mean if you're a streamer, again, this is not advice, this is just literally me, again, just vomiting, diarrheaing it out, really, cathartically. If you're not looking at yourself with an incredibly critical eye and thinking, right, how do I, because it is messaging, it is, I am trying to convey, I'm trying to portray, a message. It's not like I can rest on any sort of laurels in terms of attributes. It's not like I can sit here at my stage in life, looking like this and say, ha ha, look at you, you are, absolutely shredded and, chiseled, handsome, prime of life, between sort of 25 and 30, that was certainly, episodically, that was certainly an episode, a period in my life where through my plumbing the depths of bodybuilding, and doing modelling in London, and even doing some acting, and albeit not at professional level, but just the various doors that I've looked behind, or walked through. So super hardcore bodybuilding with, again, dovetailing, for want of a better expression, dovetailing hardcore bodybuilding with the corporate sector in fitness, and personal training and what have you, and doing some modelling in London. It's not like I haven't done those things. I've done those things, but of course, at my time of life now, I don't, stating the obvious, I don't bear those, you don't look at me and go, wow, look at this dynamic, good-looking sod, so you can rely on that, mate. And, it's not like I've got an OnlyFans account. That's what I'm getting round to saying, the risk of sounding like a complete idiot. I'm acutely aware that there's no shortage of people online, male and female, who are at the stage I was when I was that age. But of course it was pre-internet, wasn't it? I'm not complaining, it's just the way technology and, tough luck, I could have been born in 1880 along with Jack the Ripper or whatever, it's just one of those things. It's not, but yeah, I do realise that I don't want to go too much into this rabbit hole, but I'm acutely aware that in terms of what have you got to say for yourself, Justin, what is your brand, what is your conscious effort? What is your selling point? What are you trying to do, Justin? Why are you doing this, mate? What are you trying to do? Who's it for? What is your message? And it's like, well, number one, I'm doing it for me because I'm scared. All right, I don't do this every night and turn these smartphone cameras on and go, look at you, you sexy son of a bitch. You're just a, you know what I mean? I don't have that confidence. And if it's not palpably apparent by now, it will be if you watch a few of these. My level of self-effacing, self-deprecating, sort of just in your shit, that is, self-loathing, hating, you could even say, is strong. And I realise too much of that is a bad thing. You can, one can critique themselves to the point where it's incredibly toxic and cancerous, and you're never going to really soar above and spread your wings and get any real traction, as it were. You're going to just look at yourself and go, oh, I'm shit. That no one likes that. So I'm aware that my default tendency is to just hate on myself too much. So that being said, this is why I want to keep going. Obviously, I want this to grow, because wouldn't it be nice if this experiment, becomes morphed into a job of sorts, where you are, where I think that's probably what a lot of people want to do, isn't it, on YouTube, is that, again, maybe it is because of my age, because I'm a little bit older, but I didn't have these, like Johnny Depp says in the film Blow, life passes most people by while they're making grand plans for it. And it's a George Jung quote, the central character of Blow, wonderfully portrayed by Johnny Depp. If you haven't seen Blow, do watch it. It's a great film. Great cast, Ray Liotta and Penelope Cruz, and of course Depp himself, and it's a Jonathan Demme film. Great soundtrack. It's a true story. And there's some great quotes in Blow. And again, one of the ones that rings true, that sort of stays in my head again, is that life passes most people by while they're making grand plans for it. And I think never a truer statement said, and so apt, so applicable in these times, isn't it? Where you've got people that are, and I myself have fallen into the bracket of going, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and do that, and before you know it, here I am at this age. And I just, again, to go back to I keep having to remind myself of tonight's title, the script flippers. I'm flipping the script on myself, and I tell you what is positive. Tell you what is positive, right? Is that anyone, and I recommend you do this because I do. You can get your device, whatever you're using, a computer or a tablet or a phone. We're talking scale. And you can find a veritable cornucopia, a litany, a smorgasbord, lots of other silly words I could use, but just a shitload, there you go, of people out there that are incredibly motivational, that are incredibly inspiring, and they don't actually market themselves or brand themselves as a motivational speaker or a motivational guy. They just get on with it. They're just what we would call doers. And of course the likes of a Rogan, and a Jocko Willink and a David Goggins, and these people, and Lex Fridman, that they do, certainly in terms of in terms of branding. That sounds cringy, but if you do watch and listen to someone like Jocko Willink, who I remember pretty clearly when he was first on Rogan's podcast. I guess the daddy is is Joe Rogan. That's the thing, isn't it? There's the benchmark. He's now at a level of fame and infamy. What a wonderful thing to be famous and infamous, to be known and notorious. That Rogan Rogan's voice, and his platform now has gotten to the point where at the government level, this is a man whose name is uttered at the White House, and you could even say he's the nemesis of this current bad administration. And again, I do look at the government. I do look at the messaging of the internet, and I just it's something is going on. Something is going on, and it's not about being a conspiracy theorist. Although this is where I feel every sentence or every subject, I could hold up a little flashcard that went script flip, or I don't know, evil, or just because that highlights my point. That is, it's just. I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. Nothing is real. It's a magic show, guys. Well, look, we had it here. We had it here in the UK. Let me give you an example. Going back to, and please fact check me on my dates, because I'm going to cock these up. But in fact, let me just check with Hey Google. What date was Brexit?
The 31st of January 2020, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.
Cool. Best I turn up that volume. Hang on. Okay, let's try it again. Hey Google, what year was Brexit in the UK?
Its start date is the 31st of January 2020.
Better. Okay. Hey Google, what year did Brexit vote take place in the UK?
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Hey Google, what date was the Brexit vote?
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
2016 it was. I was about to say that. I was easy to say that, or I was going to say that, but it really was 2016. Tell you why it stuck in my head is because I was still living up there, specifically Croydon. Actually, I was just south east London, if you like, but or near. Here's why I mentioned Brexit is because it is script flipping. It's classic. Nothing to see here. Look over there. Please don't investigate this too much. So we here in the UK, when the Brexit vote was, God, that's ridiculous. 4 years has gone. In terms of, I'll tell you what stuck in my head because you couldn't get away from it. You couldn't. There was no let up. There was no respite. There was no, you've got. I don't know. It's a bizarre. I remember the night of it. For God's sake, I was in the hospital at the time. Again, I won't go into it tonight, but I've had lots and lots of years of very serious medical stuff. I happened to be in hospital in Croydon, and I remember the decision, being to leave, to leave the European Union, and of course the outrage and subsequently the conversation in the gym and every subsequent day thereafter for the next few years was Brexit. So being a Brit, what we got here in the UK was this preponderance of a media driven conversation, but people were talking in the sound bites in these snippets of Brexit, and I'm amazed at how much not editorial, but editing, curating, really, I guess, self censorship, self curation, where people decide inside they decide to go, well, best I don't say that, for fear of becoming a social pariah, for fear of being ostracized and alienated and just rejected and ejected by your peer group. and that manifests itself into often hearing. You could be in a coffee shop, or you could be with your family member or partner or work colleague, and that person will say invariably something like, "Oh, you can't talk about that these days, can you? You can't say that. You better not say that because that's dodgy ground," or eggshelling the conversation. That's a thing, isn't it? So again, to bring myself and my thought processes on this subject, back in line. It's just what we're seeing is a constant. Look, I don't profess to be a boxing or mixed martial arts. Sort of. Well, I'm a fan. I did martial arts for years when I was like, this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I just realised there's no relevance to me saying that, so I'm best I shut up. But my point is, if I was to make, I don't know, an analogy, a comparison, it is the eclectic approach of MMA, I guess. The shit changes, and it's like. No, I just realised what I said. Just scratch that, because I nodded out there. So, it's like come on, Justin. There seems to be something that's occurring at every level. I don't know. From the ground up, or well, no. Let me correct myself. It's from top down, isn't it? Because here is authenticity. Let me describe to you again. I realise I talk in tangents. I realise that there's a lot of poor segues, or as they say, non sequiturs. It's not like a lot of the things that tumble out of my gob. It's like, what's he saying? And then it's something else. It's not a very. It's rough. It's rough. And again, I'm not making excuses, but I will be brutally honest. You'll often catch me on camera just nodding out, and it's not like I'm. It's not like I don't know. See, there you go. There's a case in point of nodding out on camera. But this is why I'm wanting to do these streams earlier. It's now just approaching 7. I think I started at I've done about 30 minutes or thereabouts. I just. It's like my head is full of. There's no shortage, guys, of chunky information to digest. Let me finish this point that I'm struggling with. I'm struggling to say it. I'm struggling to convey this one. I don't really know why. When we here in the UK had this Brexit thing, it was our media and our politicians all consuming, all talking points, all just Brexit, get Brexit done. And look, I'll tell you what it did. I feel, as a British guy, that our Brexit vote here is or was very similar to what you guys over there are going through now. A divorce, a disagreement, a fault line, yeah? This is so typical me. I use too many descriptive words. Just say, like there were two opposing sides and leave it at that just. But I have to offer 3 versions of the same freaking sentence. But anyway, I got to laugh at myself because I'm such a tool. there there was this thing, it's this, it's like we had the main engine, the meat of the meat of the conversation, and it was again, that's why I checked my dates on Google. It was 2016, 2017 that we had this awful vote, and the people spoke. It's like, just ultimately the the decision to stay in the EU was beaten. It was quashed. And our current Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, ran on this. He ran on literally the sloganeering of three words. GBD, get Brexit done. Okay? GBD, get Brexit done. I mean, literally, when you hear that, it's like, oh, let me go back to infant school, primary school. It's like, even syllables, get Brexit done. I mean, okay, apart from the word Brexit, which is to get done, it's a syllable. It's really simple. So I understand the messaging. I get it. But of course now, these hot button topics, these hot button issues, what happened in the UK was a constant, I almost feel like a merry-go-round of face slaps from the media. The AP, the Associated Press, saying to a very, frankly, gullible public, this is the thing that a lot of people, that us Gen Pops, were so easily tricked. There'll be, I don't know, they'll see, nodding off on camera. All right, I'm going to do another 5 minutes and I'm going to go, okay, because this is what happens. I do a certain, I'm noticing, just again, it's partly my conditions I've got, and I'm not going to talk about my medical stuff tonight. Suffice to say, there's enough streams out there where I have spoke about my medical conditions, but nodding off is one of them. It's also related to my medication. Anyway, the point being, this constant distraction, this constant, like a comedy sketch, like here in the UK, Monty Python, Basil Fawlty, John Cleese, Fawlty Towers, very funny. It's sort of facial slaps, like look over, just this almost sort of not that way, just the point I'm making is yeah. What's your point, Just? Something big happens at a societal level, and I think there is a collaboration between the government and the media, in terms of messaging and in terms of keep the public distracted, keep them off that scent. So with Brexit, we were, and again, I don't have the information to hand. I mean, I'd have to sort of just, I'm just gonna, it's like, no, see, this is what happens. I just go. I'm going to try and finish. I've got to be honest. I've got to be aware. This is TrueHouse, and I do not lie. So, my nodding off on camera is nothing more than maybe it's the evenings. Maybe, I mean, this I feel is better starting earlier than it is at 9. I think there's more chance of me nodding out. Also, I am just talking to the camera. It's not like I'm engaged in a conversation. I think I'd fare better if I was talking to someone, but it is what it is. I am that lone ranger. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's only me that's got to keep myself awake. So let me finish this, and I'm going to sod off. All right. So the call it what you will. A cult. There you go. An actual cult. The Yeah. Look, the devotees to the narrative, the script flip. Again, let me try and at least shut this stream down tonight at 40 minutes deep with, really not painting myself into a corner, but that sort of cul-de-sac of the conversation where I'm saying, look, this is the script flip, guys, be aware. As long as you're aware, then you can go about your day and take everything with a sizable pinch of salt. Um, like we, the public, will often be sold a lie, and daring to hang on a minute. So I was looking at something on Google. Daring to suggest this, or used to be, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, but no, you're just it's just critical thinking, isn't it? It's just thinking outside the box and thinking, is everything as it seems? So if we in the UK got this Brexit malarkey and we were pumped, just it's like, I don't know, just if we had script flips and distraction techniques pumped at us, the UK, during Brexit, and we did, because remember the mainstream narrative was Brexit, 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 GBD, get Brexit done, get Brexit done, get Brexit done. Meanwhile, it was very clear that there were, this sort of dogmatically driven ideological worship of demagogue type figures. Yes, the complete alienation of his own voter base. Jeremy Corbyn, which would be the equivalent of Americans, I don't know, Joe Biden before he was Joe Biden, whatever, really, just an old man, supposedly a figurehead for the party, but we had Jeremy Corbyn just absolutely, drop a bollock and just, I don't know, it just seems, to be more than pulling the wool over our eyes. It seems to be, makes me think of, this is why I reference script flipping. It seems to be filmic. It seems to be well, I don't know about you guys, but I'll often say to a friend or someone, gosh, this is like a movie, isn't it? This is, you couldn't script this. Think about the conversations you may have had yourself. Think about the conversations you may have had, with your partner or colleagues or whoever. And they'll say stuff like, gosh, that was, I don't know, I'm coming up short with great examples because I'm getting tired now, so time to go. But be informed, be aware, use your access if you're using it to the internet, the media, like there you go, nodding out on camera, nodding off. I want to successfully, and again, critiquing myself, I need to get to the point a lot quicker. Like, keep these streams to about 20 minutes, not 40 odd. Trimming the fat is important to me. These streams used to be a couple of hours long, and now I've gone down to about 45 minutes or thereabouts. And I really would like to give them to 20 minutes or so, unless I'm talking to another human. Yeah. See, tired. Right, that's it. When I'm nodding off on the screen like that, as you just saw, it's time to go. let me just, before I go, try and sort of bullet points, I guess, leave you with this thought, and that is that when you're watching, if you are a mainstream news watcher, or if you're scrolling through your internet's news feed, just be aware that there are clear script flips, because just top of my head, and this is why I mentioned our Brexit and the consuming of Brexit, that we it can be too much. But in bullet point fashion, just think, well, is there another opinion? Is there somebody else that isn't Fox News or CNN? It's very, very, very Jedi-like, isn't it? It's very good and evil. All this business. What am I looking for? I'm just messing with this light, 'cause I wonder if I could make it. See, I think that's better, warmer. Yeah, I'm always changing this light. So look, that'll do tonight. That'll do, donkey. I hope you've enjoyed it. For what it's worth. Please help me. Please, if anyone watches this, I want help. I need help. I need. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm trying. Look, I'm trying. I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying to make head or tail of it as well. It's I don't profess to be anything more than, I suppose, in terms of looking at my sort of components of my own story, then I would fall into the category of a guy that, if I was to apex, just to put into the one box what I've got is I had a 27-year career in that bodybuilding and corporate sector of physical culture, the fitness gym industry, and I managed to have I've got a cautionary tale. I've got a cautionary tale about living in an extreme way and what it can do to your body. Yeah. All right. I'm tired now. So either I'm going to do some pedaling on the bike, or I'm going to go to bed, one or two. But that'll do tonight. That's 48 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been Justin House talking TrueHouse, episode 437. ScriptFlippers. Tomorrow night I'll try something else. Again, apologies for my massive imperfections, apologies for the timekeeping, apologies for nodding off. Again, it's not excuse making, it's just telling the bloody truth. I do, although these days I'm ironically doing well with my health, whether it's the meds, I always take my meds in the evening just before the stream. Maybe it's the meds that make me tired, I don't know, or just me being tired and just, when you have had the stuff I've gone, I don't know, whatever. But, sorry for these little things that do happen. I hope tonight's been okay. I will do more and try better, and that's it. So look, back tomorrow night, with episode 438. So same time, it will be 6 o'clock tomorrow night, but I'm going to do some posts, and I'll speak to you then. Thanks a lot for joining me. See you soon.